Thank you, Billy Branch. He's a legend, a musician, and we have the honor to be here in interview. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you. And yourself, you doing all right?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your time. And we are so happy to know that you will come to Mexico with a special presentation. If you could tell us about it, please.
Well, we're excited to return to Mexico. I played Mexico quite a few times over the years, but never in Merida. And I've heard fantastic things. Everyone says that Merida is a magical place, and I know it'll be warmer than Chicago. So in my past visits to Mexico, I've always enjoyed my visits and the people, la comida, everything. It's just a great time. Well, that was through the National Museum of Mexican Art.
Yeah.
They offered me this great opportunity, and I give my hat is off to them, and I think we're very grateful because, as I said before, I always enjoyed visiting and performing in Mexico. So it was through the National Museum of Mexican Art that allowed me this opportunity.
What the music means in your life, what the music, the concept means in your life.
Well, music is everything, you know, and I was fortunate in learning my craft as a blues harmonica player. I was fortunate to have been in Chicago when a lot of the great legendary masters were still alive. And the main one was Willie Dixon, who I played in his band for 6 years. Willie Dixon was one of the architects of Chicago blues, having written and recorded hundreds of songs that not only were performed and recorded by blues artists, but notably the rock artists like the Doors, the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, the Rolling Stones, even Elvis Presley. So to have had the experience of knowing and playing and traveling and recording with people like Willie Dixon and Otis Rush and Coco Taylor and Junior Wells and so many more, it has really been a wonderful experience.
What about your feelings had changed since that guy who started making music, that guy who started playing music up to now?
Well, you're talking about myself, how my feelings have changed. I hope I've gotten a little wiser since then. You know, when you're young, and as you can imagine, you know, it can be a wild ride. You know, you know, I mean, when you're playing at clubs, it's like a party, and of course, crazy things happen at parties, and that's why they say a lot of times musicians and artists are crazy. It's not a very straight lifestyle. But as you get older, hopefully you get wiser and you make better choices. And I'm glad that I'm still able to maintain a good band, be able to be healthy, and maintain a good quality of life.
The sensation, maybe the sense had changed, is better now?
I hope I've changed for the better. Yes, I hope. But the thing in the blues and the blues genre has changed because so many of the greats now are departed. And unfortunately, they're no longer with us. And that's one thing that I think about a lot, because the blues is a traditional music, and some of the artists, some of the ones I mentioned, and people like John Lee Hooker and B.B. King and so many more, they were just so unique and they're so good at what they did, and you won't see that anymore.
Maybe in a side of, in a point of view, it's like a treasure now, like a legacy. Do you feel like that?
Well, I feel like in a small way, I'm keeping that legacy. I'm continuing in that legacy, and I walked in the footsteps of giants, and I'm humbled. I was humbled as I learned when I was learning, and I'm still learning, and I'm humbled now, be included in being mentioned in the same breath as some of these greats. I do not proclaim myself to be anywhere near the magnitude of artists that they were, but I'm happy to have been mentored and have had the experience to know them and performed with them.
How do you live, or how do you feel that to be considered like a legend?
Well, people say that. I don't call myself a legend. I think the legendary part is that I'm still alive because all the crazy things I used to do. But as I said before, it's an honor just to be mentioned in the same category, in the same sentence as some of these greats. When you talk about legends, to me, we're talking about Muddy Waters, B.B. King, John Lee Hooker, Jimmy Reed. These guys, they were the guys that put the blues on the map. They lived through the blues. They lived through segregation, through Jim Crow, through discrimination, and they lived through hard times. And fortunately, to their credit, they were able to become celebrities and stars and loved by millions of people around the world, even without very little education. And they prevailed, and they created some of the best music ever made.
The message of the blues had changed, it's different now because the people is maybe with more education. How do you take it? How do you feel about it?
Well, I think the message of the blues is the same, and Willie Dixon defined the blues as the facts of life. It's something that everybody can relate to on a day-to-day basis. But now, with the immense problems of the world, you are starting to see the message being more social commentary, more political, because you're seeing these very stark political dynamics that exist all over the world in the country. Of course, Russia right now, we're looking at this, but every country is dealing with a lot of internal problems, poverty and homelessness and drugs, and you're starting to see more artists incorporating these themes in their song and their music.
Maybe the messages has more diffusion, more media attention now.
More what? I'm sorry?
Media attention.
To some degree, yeah. The message is getting more media attention. Unfortunately, the blues in America doesn't get the same type of media attention as many other forms of music, notably like country western or rock and roll or rap or hip hop. But what's encouraging now is I'm seeing a lot more younger people and more younger African American artists starting to wanting to express themselves through the blues.
And because the people is grateful, we are so happy to see you here in Mexico, and all the people who follows you is grateful because your work and grateful because your life. I really appreciate your time. I really want to say thank you, and I want to say I'm with you in your message, like a million of people in the world.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time, and I look forward to returning to your wonderful country. Thank you.
We will see you here in Mérida.
All right.
We are so anxious because that.
All right.
Thank you.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias por tu tiempo. Gracias.
De nada. Gracias.
No te pierdas la mejor información de espectáculos y entretenimiento. Suscríbete a este canal, compártelo, déjame un like y tus comentarios.